is what is the best way someone, so this may be a position, someone may be in this position with their own children, or they may have a grandchild. When I'm lucky, my grandchildren came after my surgery, so I've never sort of had this happen to me. But how would one explain the surgery and the changes that they're going to see to a young person, to a child?
Yeah, so I'll divide that, I think, into two, Alan. So I think the first thing is if it's mum or dad having the laryngectomy surgery, working through that conversation depends very much, doesn't it, on the age of the child. So if it's a child under 10 or 11, that may be very different to talking to a teenager whose parent may be going to undergo laryngectomy surgery. So I think if you're talking to younger children, there are very expert resources from cancer charities about how to talk to a child about the fact that somebody has cancer. And I think that's the very first thing, that really understanding that people will react differently. And some parents, you are the expert in how your child reacts, in who your child is. So talking to your child about giving them free rein to really have that conversation as and when they want it. Remembering that talking openly is really important, because otherwise children can build up the feeling that they may not be important to be included, and they'll certainly know that something is going on, that's for sure. So they have to have the opportunity to talk freely, as much or as little as they want. Using age appropriate materials, I think, is really important, but again, there are very expert resources, and I think it's very important to prepare yourself first as the parent, your feelings, explore your own feelings first, so that you can then be talking to your child at a time when you're ready to have that conversation. That's probably important. I think with teenagers, it can be different, because teenagers will go online and they'll look at resources, and so I think finding out and guiding them to really reliable sources of information, so their questions may be slightly different. For all children, it's reassurance, because all children are ultimately really self-centered. That's particularly teens, that's how it is. And helping them understand how this changed surgery will affect them and their lives and their routines, I think, is really important to remember. You may also obviously talk about all the changes, what they'll see, how you may look different, how you may sound different, but also the impact on them and their life, and what it will mean for them. So I think really tapping into very expert resources, understanding if it feels right for you to have somebody else with you when you tell them, making sure, if you've got more than one child, all the children here together, that's probably important. And also, who else needs to know? Does school need to know? Do any activities that they go to, do those leaders need to know? And the child themselves will guide you in that. So I think that's in terms of a child. And a grandchild, all of those things apply. It's reassurance for the child in terms of somebody has cancer and what that means, and what are they going to see, and all of those things that we've talked about. But I think the thing I pick up from working with people who've had this surgery is it's the nature of the changed relationship that may worry them, that they may think that what they do with the grandchild may be so different that they may lose part of that relationship. And so I guess thinking through, what is it that you love to do with your grandchild, and can you still do that, or can you do it in a different way? And just reassuring, yourself that that can still happen. The final thing I'd say is that children are remarkably straightforward, particularly very young children. So I think some people that I've worked with, they've had a big worry about what their grandchildren will think, and their grandchildren are in fact superbly able to just think, oh right, okay, that's how it is, and it hasn't been a particular problem.
Oh, thanks, Kath. That's really insightful. I think I want to echo that as well, because I remember sat in a bank not long after I had my voice prosthesis and I was discharged, probably maybe 12 months after my surgery, and little child, it must have been about 9 or 10, came over to me and said to me, Mister, your voice sounds so cool. Why does it sound like that? And why do you have to press that button? You
Yes.
know,
Very.
our children are just so inquisitive and resilient on these things.
Yeah.
You know, my granddaughter will say to me, and it's happened only last week, Puppy, why are you not pressing your button? And I was using esophageal speech. And
Okay.
she speaks to me straight away and then
Yeah.
said, why are you not pressing your button? Why are you talking without
Yeah.
pressing your, you
Yes.
know? And
So
I
it's yeah.
never
Yeah.
noticed. So children are great. They're great to support us to be who we are, really, aren't they? You know.
Yeah.
Okay.